Welcome to the Deep Dive from DeepDive Celeb. If you need the essential summary of why Tyla is absolutely everywhere right now, dominating charts, culture, everything, well, you're definitely in the right place. This is your shortcut to understanding the whole phenomenon.
It really is an incredible moment in global music, isn't it? And Tyla's right at the heart of it all. So our mission today is basically to take all the big news, the Grammys, the amazing chart success, those fashion partnerships, the buzz around new music, and really just connect the dots for you. We want to show you the sheer scale of her impact right now and maybe understand how she manages that balance, balancing that critical acclaim with this huge commercial appeal.
Yeah, that balance is so key. She's only 23, already a Grammy winner, and she's actively building this whole world around her brand, connecting directly with her fans, the Tigers. So yeah, we're diving deep into why she's so much more than just a one-hit wonder.
Definitely. Let's maybe start with the actual evidence, the formal recognition.
Right.
Because the critical praise has just been astronomical. I mean, we're talking about an artist whose debut album, the self-titled Tyla, which came out in March 2024, it's already been named one of the greatest of this century.
It's just phenomenal, isn't it? Getting on Rolling Stone's list, the 250 greatest albums of the 21st century so far. Landing at number 240. I mean, think about all the music released this century. For a debut album to hit that list, it says so much about the quality, the sound, its staying power.
It really does. And it speaks volumes about her mastery of fusion, which I think is really the core of her whole artistry. Rolling Stone wasn't just saying, it's good. They specifically pointed out her unique way of weaving together all these global sounds. Amapiano, Afro beats, hip-hop, pop. But crucially, she does it without losing that deep connection to her African roots.
Right. That technical fusion is just brilliant. Maybe for folks who haven't tracked all the subgenres. Can you quickly break down what makes that mix of Amapiano and Afrobeats so, infectious globally?
Sure, absolutely. So Afrobeats, broadly speaking, is that West African sound, lots of rhythm, catchy vocals. Amapiano, though, that's the South African house subgenre. It's got those really distinct heavy bass lines and that unmistakable log drum rhythm, often quite soulful. What Tyla does so well is take that deep, rhythmic Amapiano core and then layer it with these super slick, polished pop and R&B elements that just instantly connect with, say, the US market. That specific blend, that's her magic formula, really.
Okay, so the album sets the stage, but then Water. That was the tidal wave, right? That track also made a Rolling Stone list, 250 greatest songs of the 21st century so far at 135. It felt like more than just a song. It was a real cultural moment.
Water is definitely where the history-making part really kicks in. It peaked at number 7 on the US Billboard Hot 100. Now, that position alone made her the highest-charting African female solo artist in Billboard history, ever. Just think about that for a second. The landmark, breaking down barriers for African musicians.
Exactly. That's why this deep dive feels so important. It's not just success, it's actually redefining things. And the awards for Water just kept coming. Beyond the charts, she won the first ever Grammy for Best African Music Performance. I mean, that category almost felt created for what she achieved with that track.
Absolutely. That Grammy was like the industry officially saying, okay, this sound she's pioneering, it needs its own recognition. And then she also grabbed Top Afrobeats Song at the Billboard Music Awards and Best Afrobeats Video at the MTV VMAs. So she's successfully turned that critical and cultural buzz into real commercial power. And now that success is fueling this major expansion of her whole brand.
Right, that commercial reach is fascinating. How does an artist so focused on, deep cultural fusion successfully jump into high fashion and global partnerships? Which brings us perfectly to her fan connection, her style, and that Pandora collaboration.
Well, Tyla herself is kind of a walking embodiment of that pretty soft girl aesthetic. It's confident, it's feminine, but also really accessible. Her ambassadorship with Pandora started back in April. But the latest piece, which is super exciting, is the limited edition Tyla Tyger charm. And it's genuinely a code design, like a direct nod to her fans, the Tigers.
I love that. It's not just slapping her name on something, she's actually bringing fans into her world, her look. The charm itself looks really nice, too double-sided, her signature on one side, this cool etched tiger on the other, and it comes in sterling silver for a 14K gold-plated version, keeping it in that range that's aspirational, but maybe still reachable for her fans.
Exactly. And what she said about it really shows her focus on that connection. She talked about how excited she was that her Tigers all over the world could get it, and they'd all be matching all over the world. And she described the charm itself as feeling fresh and soft, like pretty soft girl. It perfectly nails the vibe she projects.
That confidence is definitely what brands like Pandora are drawn to. Okay, but here's the challenge, maybe. When you blow up this fast Grammys, huge global deals, is there a risk of kind of watering down that original authentic sound or message? How does she stay grounded through all that? That's always the tightrope walk for any global star, isn't it? But Tyla seems really grounded just by her own self-confidence, which seems central to her brand. You see it in her fashion choices, too. She often stacks those Pandora charms, sort of grounding the high fashion moments. Like, she wore them with a vintage 1993 Chanel dress at the VMAs. That mix of vintage high-end with modern personal jewelry. Even at Coachella, she put her own twist on hoop earrings with a unique shark tooth charm. It's about personality.
Yeah, she definitely owned it. And speaking of owning it, we have to mention her pre-show ritual. It gets such a great insight into her mindset before these massive performances.
Right, it's all about getting into that confident headspace. She says before she goes on stage, before the adrenaline really hits, she takes a moment, looks in the mirror, and gives herself this little pep talk. She looks right in the mirror and says, and this is a direct quote, "Girl, what the heck? You look so good."
I love that. That energy, that self-belief, it clearly feeds into her creativity, her performances, helps her stay present, probably, even with this crazy whirlwind around her.
And that's the energy she seems to be bringing to what's next, which leads us to the new music buzz, which is absolutely electric right now.
Yes. Time to talk future sounds. Tyla's got everyone hyped for her next single, Chanel. It's locked in, dropping next Friday, October 24th. And it feels like this one is designed to build right on that foundation of the album and water.
Oh, the pre-release excitement is huge. She's been smart about teasing it, too. Previewing snippets, like during her performance at the Global Citizen Festival back in September. That was clever, putting the music out there in a huge live setting first.
And the reaction online has been massive, right? She announced it with a message straight to her Tigers, saying the track is for all us girlies because we deserve it all.
Yeah.
That kind of direct, fun energy really builds buzz. It totally creates that feeling of a shared moment. And other artists are noticing too. Even just the a cappella snippets she shared caused a stir. You had Zara Larsson commenting she loved Viviet. Doechii commented on the energy. Tyla's just really good at using that anticipation as a tool.
Okay, so this new music is perfectly timed to fuel her upcoming live shows too. She's getting ready for her We Wanna Party tour across Asia. It kicks off in Tokyo on November 11th, wraps up in Singapore December 5th.
Yeah, and the tour sounds like it's going to be really interesting because she mentioned taking an experimental approach to the show.
Yeah.
Which ties back to her music, right? She's not just going to play the hits. She's looking for new ways to bring that layered sound to life on stage, promising everyone the best time.
And her credibility just keeps growing with these high-profile collaborations she's been doing. Since her WWP EP, which hit no 11 on world albums, she's clearly been in high demand.
Absolutely. She's popped up on tracks with huge names, like Cardi B, which shows she can step into that hip-hop world, Tiana Taylor, highlighting her R&B side, Loj keeping those Afrobeats ties strong. We can't forget she's also got another new single, Body Go, with Molly Y coming soon too. She's collaborating really strategically across the board, proving her range.
So we've hit the charts, the Grammys, the fashion, the new music drops. It's just undeniable, isn't it? Tyla is operating successfully on so many different levels at once.
That's really the takeaway from this deep dive, I think. Tyla isn't just riding the wave of water, not at all. She's actively building this sustainable global brand. She brings her fans into her confidence, into her aesthetic, co-designing things with them in mind, and just keeps pushing forward with this history-making acclaimed music that feels fundamentally her.
So what does all this mean for you, listening right now? Well, her ability to fuse these complex, culturally rich sounds, Amapiano, Afro beats, pop into something that's both super catchy and critically praised, that feels like a blueprint for the next wave of global stars. Her whole journey just shows the power of being original, being rooted in your heritage, not just chasing whatever's trendy.
Absolutely. So we definitely encourage you to check out her latest stuff, those collaborations. And yeah, put a reminder in your calendar for next Friday, October 24th. Chanel is dropping.
And before you go, please make sure you subscribe to our DeepDive Celeb channel. We really love bringing you these essential insights, and trust me, we've got so much more great content coming your way, tracking the biggest names in culture.
Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive.
We'll catch you on the next one.